Welcome back to We Just Live Here.
And we're so happy that you're living here with us.
We really are.
So what are we talking about today?
Okay, today we're talking about our courtships,
Yes.
our marriages, and how different they are.
Yes.
I find relationships interesting
Me too.
and the dynamics of relationships and how they came to be.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Our stories are so different.
I know. And I think you should start because you've been married longer than I have.
I have. I've been, but not together. How long have you been together with Zach?
A little over 10 years.
Okay. I've been with David 14, married 13.
Okay.
14, 15 years, been married 13.
Okay.
Just had our 13th anniversary in July.
We love.
It was
Lucky
great.
number 13.
Oh, is 13 lucky?
I don't know.
It depends. If you're a Swiftie, it's lucky.
And if you're
not,
yes, you
I
are.
had a patient. Okay, but I had a patient in Heber who's Hispanic, and I was trying to schedule her 6 months. I said, how's Thursday the 13th? She said, oh, not the 13th. No 13.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know, she was serious. So,
But I know
it could
that-
be unlucky.
I think even in some like Chinese or like Asian cultures, I think that sometimes
13 is lucky?
No. Because they skip floors in casinos for certain numbers. I know that.
Oh, interesting.
And I think,
Well,
yeah.
I think year 13, it's a toss-up.
I'm saying lucky.
Guess we'll see at the end.
Right. Let's see how this one goes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so
how'd you meet?
So my story actually starts out, it's very interesting. When I was 16 and my older sister Emily was 18, we had this friend and he invited us to go hang out with a bunch of his friends. It was in Arizona. It is so hot.
Yes.
And so when it rains, it's like a party.
Oh, yeah.
So it had rained on Sunday, and on Monday, we didn't have any school. So he invited us over to this place to play ultimate frisbee, but it was ultimate football, in a ravine that has water in it.
Oh, gosh.
It was so fun. I mean, we were just desperate for like a water activity.
Yeah.
So we went with our friend, and there we met a bunch of his friends. And Emily and I got together at one point and we said, dang, look at that boy. He is cute. We proceeded to call this boy Cute Boy. We never knew his name. We did not get to know him. We didn't even talk to him during this thing.
Oh.
He was just Cute Boy. A year later, Emily calls me. She was in school, ASU. She calls me up. She said, guess who I ran into? I said, who? Cute Boy. His name is David. I said, oh, that's cool. He's 2 years older than me. I never thought anything about him.
Yeah.
Okay. Fast forward a couple years. I am now a sophomore in college and I'm home for the weekend.
Okay.
My sister is married to this amazing man, Bruce, and Bruce's best friend's name is Spencer. And his wife is Ashley. And they're best friends. Emily and Bruce and Spencer and Ashley, they hung out all the time. I came into town on a weekend and Emily said, hey, would you like to go to the Fear Farm with Bruce and I? I said, absolutely. Then we're not driving towards the Fear Farm. They're like, oh, it's actually a blind date with David. I said, Cute Boy? Oh my gosh. So I go on this blind date with Cute Boy. The thing is Spencer, Bruce's best friend, who is now my brother-in-law, he had friended me on Facebook. I was like, you are so sneaky.
Yeah.
I think the words that came out of my mouth was, you're a slithering snake.
I can picture you saying that.
I'm so dramatic. Can you now see why my son Lincoln is as dramatic as
yes.
he is? It's almost not even his fault.
He's you.
He's me. Oh, in the best way?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Anyways, so we went on this date to the Fear Farm, and clearly maybe not clearly, I am a jumpy person. Mm-hmm. I loved it at the time. Now you wouldn't catch me dead in the Fear Farm.
I don't want to go.
But at the time, I'm going and I'm like, and I grab onto David and be like, don't touch this
Perfect blind
guy.
date.
I'm like, I don't know him.
You're like, David,
I
save
didn't
me.
even. It was a whole thing. David saved me. No, those words never came out of my mouth. So then at the end, I'm thinking, this is awkward. You know, is he going to ask for my number? I don't know.
But do you think it went well?
It went well. He pulls out his phone. I think to myself, what am I going to do? He says, do you have a Facebook?
Okay.
I said, yes, I do. Feel free to friend me. And then we proceeded to Facebook message for a couple weeks. I came back in town. We went to Fair Farm again with some of our other friends. And then we started dating. And then we proceeded to break up. And then we dated. And then we broke up. And then we dated. And then we broke up for 7
long distance,
months.
right?
Long distance. I'm in Flagstaff. He's in Phoenix.
Okay. That's hard.
We broke up for 7 months.
That's a long time.
There were things. People think it was all me, but it was both of us.
Yeah. We can't only blame Elise.
No. No. It's David. And I tell him to this day, I say, everyone thinks that I'm the bad guy in this. His whole family thought, oh, Elise is the issue.
Yeah.
She's breaking up with him. He's perfect. His family legit thinks he's perfect.
He is perfect. But that's like what my family would say about Zach. If I say something about Zach, they're like, Zach is perfect. I'm like, okay.
David is
I'm chopped liver.
Really great, right? David is so great. He really is. But he's not perfect.
Well, no one's perfect.
David's the baby of 4, and he is so overly loved. It is crazy.
That's good.
I've never been overly loved like that. I've been loved, but I've never been overly loved like that.
Were you difficult? I'm just kidding.
If you ask my mother, she will say I was her hardest kid.
Okay.
Me!
Not my Elise.
That's what I'm saying. Mom.
Never my Elise.
I've met Meg.
Poor
kidding.
Meg.
Oh, Meg, I'm just kidding. But everyone thought it was my fault. His family legit just thought I was playing with him. But it was both of us.
Yeah.
He had issues.
But you're young.
Had issues. We were young. And here is the crux of the matter. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me tell you how we got back together. So I was back in town. This is the first time I brought my best friend, Leslie, to my house. That is a whole other story. It is an epic story how she got introduced to my family. But we went to a New Year's Eve dance. A church New Year's Eve dance down in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And David was there.
Oh my goodness.
And I swear he was like kind of dating this other girl. Maybe he was. But I was so drawn to him.
I would throw up.
We did not interact. We stayed on 2 different parts of the dance floor. But I was so drawn to him. I kept looking at him and my brain is saying, why? We broke up 3 times. It's been 7 months. Why can I not move on? Why am I drawn to him?
Because he's your perfect match.
He really is. He really is. Side note, at that dance, his older sister Mary was there.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees me in the hallway and she says, Elise, hi. Oh my gosh, I'm so sad you and David broke up. You guys would have had the most beautiful babies.
And look
we
at you
do.
now. They are.
But she's like, you would have had the most beautiful babies. Their eyes would have been so big. And they do have big eyes. But what a weird thing to say to this. And I think she even said later, like, that was a weird thing for me to say. But it was so genuine and so true. And I loved that she showed me that she didn't hate me.
Yeah, well, you couldn't hate Elise.
I wonder if that was kind of what bolstered my next move. So I reached out to David on Facebook.
You're the
I was the
instigator.
I was. In this case, I was the instigator. I reached out on Facebook. That's how we started. This is how we go. And I just said, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm so drawn to you. Like, I don't know why I keep thinking about you. Can we meet up? He said yes.
Thank goodness.
Right? How devastating would it have been this whole story would have been so different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was the turning point. He could have said no.
He could have said no.
Oh my goodness. So that made me sick to my stomach.
Now she's going to throw up.
So he said yes, and we met halfway. So we met in Camp Verde at McDonald's.
Oh my gosh.
Early in the morning. I swear it was 8 o'clock in the morning.
And that's romance, ladies and gentlemen.
That's true love. We should have known right then. So so we're talking, and I'm telling him how I'm feeling. He lays it down. Alix, David says, Elise, you don't know what you want. If we get back together, this is the end. One, we'll never get back together after this, or we're getting married. That's what he says to me. And is a little, like, he was being very firm.
But that's good because someone had to be firm.
Thank you.
Like, you couldn't keep going down this path.
No. And it was so good for me. It was such a good, at the time, I was so irritated.
Yeah, of course.
But it was exactly what I needed. So he also said, and this is the kicker.
I'm scared.
And you will woo me. You're asking me on dates. You are going to lead this relationship.
Okay, David Slay.
Right? I was so upset.
Yeah, it would be hard to hear, but I feel like sometimes the best things you hear are hard at first.
Oh, absolutely. Best things for you.
Yeah.
Are some of the hardest things you've had to hear or do.
Yeah.
But what is my favorite thing? Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. I asked that guy on dates. I did it in cute ways. I did the things. It changed my mindset. It is hard. It is vulnerable.
I think that is one thing about dating and being a guy is a lot of that falls on them.
Yes, it shouldn't.
I know it should be more equal, but I don't know that it ever will be.
No.
But it is interesting because now you're in his shoes.
Yes.
And you're seeing that.
But that's what I love about what David did. He made it more equal. And I think because of that, our marriage is more equal.
Yeah.
Not always. Sometimes it's not. But even just recently, our roles kind of switched where I'm working more full time. He's at the home with the kids. He still works at home. But because of that, it's how we started, it wasn't such a hard switch to make.
For sure.
It was hard in ways.
But we've discussed this a lot. You and I with like roles in marriages and the idea of 50-50 and how that should look. And I think we both agree that that's never really the case. Like no one's ever 50-50.
No.
Because emotionally and just in everyday life, like sometimes you have to give a little more and sometimes you need to get a little more.
Exactly. And I think that's why marriages work sometimes, a lot of the times is because the partners understand that.
Yeah, I agree.
And they're ready to step up or they're ready to ask for help.
Yes, that's so important.
Yes, communication.
Yeah, and that's hard.
It's so hard.
It's hard to ask for help.
Marriage hands down is hard. Relationships hands down is hard. So he did that. Challenge accepted. I did it. And we were like, David said, but I still want to take this slow. We did. It was
it slow?
One of our first or second dates. We started saying, I love you again.
Because it was always there.
We're laughing.
You just had to remember.
Yeah. We were laughing the next day. David said, I said, let's take it slow. And we're both saying we love you. But it's true because our love was there. Yeah. I was drawn to him for a reason. He was drawn to me. We kept getting back together for a reason. I learned so much in that about myself from that experience. I do think I'm a better person and I'm better at relationships because of David.
Yeah.
What I learned about myself, I didn't know how to have a relationship.
Yeah.
I'd never really had I dated other people, but I never had a true relationship. We talked about this. I wasn't good. I wasn't good at communication. I did the white lies. I probably I did mess up a lot of relationships because I didn't know how to fully put myself in there.
Yeah.
And by David saying, you are taking charge. You're wooing me. You're doing this. He made me take control. He made me. Let me put my headphones on. I thought that was weird.
I was like just looking at you. I'm like, I don't know this.
like, why can't
Terrible
I hear
co-host.
myself? Anyways, I because he did that, that is when my relationships, my views on things changed, how I acted changed. And now I know how it truly is to be in a relationship and how hard it is.
Yeah.
And how I really messed up in my previous ones. But it took David. And the
magic man.
The magic man. Don't say that to David.
We have to hype him up a little.
Amnesia. No, it really did. That's how it all started. And then we were engaged. He proposed to me in Flagstaff.
Cute.
He took me. Okay, this is real love. Okay.
I
was in dental hygiene school.
Ugh.
We have appointments we have to fill. Mm-hmm. They're 3 hours long.
Yeah.
In one day, I had two lab periods, 2 appointments. So 2 3-hour long periods. Ugh. David was my patient for both.
6 hours?
On my birthday.
That's nice.
He came up. He was my patient for 6 hours. And keep in mind, I was in school, so I was horrible.
Yeah. Those are tough
Made
appointments.
his gums bleed. Like, poor guy.
On purpose? No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's the worst part. I wish I could say yes. No. And it was so long. The instructors have to check everything you do.
If you breathe, they have to check.
Yes. And sign off on it. It's okay. 5 breaths.
That was good.
Oh, my goodness.
That's tough.
So he's there. I cleaned his teeth. 6 hours long. We went to dinner. And then he had to leave to go home to Phoenix.
That's right. He didn't live there.
So I'm back into my apartment, into my house. And all of a sudden I'm in my room and there's like click, click, click on my window.
Okay.
I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I'm thinking, this is romantic.
This
is scary.
I crawled over to my window. There's like still things being thrown at my window.
Mm-hmm.
And I crawl onto my bed, look out the window. It's David. Aww. And he points to the front door and I come around and he's there. And he says, I want to ask you something, but I need you to turn around. He can't do it to my face. But it's because he wrote me a song on the ukulele and he sang it to me.
We need a clip. No, I'm just kidding.
We do not have it recorded. I wish we did. Mm. He has it written down though.
Okay. You got to frame that or something.
I should. Where is that? Oh man.
Girl.
Fail. So he sang me a song on the ukulele with my back turned. I turned around when it was done. He was on one knee and he asked me to marry him.
That is so sweet and like really intimate. I like that.
Isn't that nice? And it's so creative in David's own way. I wasn't expecting it. It was really cool.
That's
you know
awesome.
What's even sweeter? Shout out to David. I just found out he went back and he picked up the rocks that he threw out my window and he still has them.
Shut up.
He does. I just found
this out. He's a romantic.
Yes. I just found this out within the last 2 weeks. And 13 years later, it made my heart like.
That's really
just like pulse
sweet.
With more love. That guy.
Over rocks.
He thought about
everything. Anything can be special if you make it special. Even
True.
rocks.
I have a thing. But yeah.
I love that. That's a special
how
story.
We started. We went through a lot though.
Yeah, you did.
So we were on and off. We broke up 3 times. We got back together 4 within a 2.5-year period.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then we've been together ever since for 13 years.
Well, you had to.
I had a lot of learning to do.
Yeah.
A lot of learning.
You were young.
So did he. But me, I really needed a whole, I think, mindset change.
For
I had
sure.
no idea how to have a relationship. I didn't know how to date.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
That's so cool, though. That's special.
Thank you. Okay. We're going to break this up with a 20 seconds.
20 questions.
20 questions. Dang it. 20 question segment.
Okay. And you're the leader of this one.
I'm the leader. Remember, Elise has 1 point. Alix, 0.
I haven't had a chance yet. No, that's
true.
Not true because I could have got a point.
If I didn't.
I should have picked a harder book.
You shouldn't have let me look at your bookshelf first.
True.
Okay. So I have a word in mind. It represents something in what we're talking about.
Okay. I'm scared. I don't know if I'm going to get it.
You will. I think you will.
Okay.
This is all I'm going to say.
So is it marriage related or more like dating? Okay. Is it marriage related?
Yes.
Okay. Is it wedding related?
Yes.
Is it my wedding?
Yes.
Okay. Is it my reception?
No.
Okay. So my ceremony. Is it the location?
No.
Well, okay.
Maybe. No, not location.
Okay. Is it how we got married?
Yes.
Okay. Can I guess?
Yes.
Is it elopement?
Yes.
Okay.
Dang it. Okay, 1-1. Alex won, Elise won.
And she's over here thinking she's going to win. Well, I'm coming.
Okay, well, now I know I need to make it harder next time.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good one. You just asked all the right questions.
We'll get into harder ones, but I feel like for our first times, they were pretty good.
I do think so too.
Okay.
We're just good.
We're good.
Okay. So speaking of elopement, speaking about you, okay, your story is different than mine. Let's hear it.
Okay. So we knew each other in high school, Zach and I, but we weren't really
kind
friends.
of high school romance, but
not really.
No.
And it can't even be a second chance romance. Like, I love those.
Second chance. You like second chance? I don't know if I do.
Sometimes.
I like yours, but not in a book.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so.
But you do like it in a book.
I do. I love that. Because I love love.
But you know what? Isn't mine a second chance romance?
Yours is a second chance romance. Mine is not. Yours is.
That just clicked in my head.
That is hilarious.
I hate that.
No, you love it.
Okay, I love it.
She loves her second chance romance.
Why don't I like reading about it?
It's traumatizing.
I wonder it is. I know how it felt. But I wonder if now I approach those books with the understanding that my own is a second chance romance.
Yeah.
I will like it.
Okay.
I'm going to try it out.
Do it.
Any good second chance romance recommendations? Comment.
Yes, agree.
I would love to check one out with a new understanding.
I think you should.
Enough about me.
Okay.
On to you.
So we didn't date. We were like acquaintances, I would say.
So you knew of him.
Yeah.
But you didn't hang out with him.
We probably hung out like twice, but like very much friends.
You had similar friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had always like had the same boyfriend in high school, so there really wasn't a chance for us to date, and I don't know that we would have.
Okay.
Not for
Sometimes that's better.
Yeah.
If I would have dated David when I was 16, we would not be together today.
That's true. But like I said before, my friends now that I went to high school with, like we weren't friends in high school.
Right. So that's kind of a theme in
That's my theme.
That's your theme.
No, but anyways, so after high school, I moved to San Diego for a year for college.
Oh, yeah.
But I missed my family and my life a lot, and I just wasn't settling there. And, I'm not very outgoing in that way, so it was hard to make friends. So I ended up coming home and probably...
Were you going to school there?
Yeah. And I did meet people at school, but I don't know. Like it just wasn't what I was used to, and
it wasn't sticking.
Yeah. And back home, like all the people I knew, like were still there and still having fun together.
Right.
Like you get kind of like a FOMO moment. I have that. So I move home, and maybe I think that was in December because one of my good friends got married and I was a bridesmaid, and I came home, and that was kind of like me coming home. Like I think I went back one more time to get my stuff.
Oh, wow.
And Zach reaches out to me via Facebook, I think in like April.
Facebook. Mm-hmm. It's a thing.
And he says, hey. And
That's it?
That's it. And you have to keep in mind, Zach and his friends in high school were always on each other's Facebooks. And they would message people or tag people in statuses. And they weren't like bad, but they were just like, you could tell they were joking around.
Yeah.
So I reply, hey, ? Because I'm like, there's no way he's messaging me.
Why? Okay, so it was him.
Yes. And he said, hey, what's up? Like, what's going on? How are you? And I was like, OMG, I meant, hey, ! And we start talking, and it kind of just feels super normal. He was working nights at the time, and I was working at a retirement home as a server.
Oh, wow.
And so I hadn't even decided to become a dental hygienist yet. I was considering dental assisting.
Okay.
Because, I did go to school for that because it's such a gimmick, but whatever. Regardless. So he asks me on a date, and the night we're supposed to go on a date, it's Disney on Ice, and my sisters were going.
Yeah.
And I'm a sister girl.
You're such a sister girl. That's good.
But yeah, I couldn't miss. So I kind of blew him off, which I do feel terrible about. It was mean.
In the end, it worked out.
But then a week later, we do end up going out.
Okay.
And we go to sushi, which I did not really like sushi at the time. Like, I didn't not like it, but I was not an adventurous eater. And we went to a movie to see Captain America 2. And I'd never seen Captain America 1.
What?
But I don't know. He planned this out. He insisted on picking me up. I lived far from where we grew up at that time. Like, I didn't live super close to Gilbert at that time.
Oh.
So, and he has lived in his same house for 15 years. And we both still lived at home.
Okay.
Because we were 18 when we reconnected. And so he ends up, coming all the way to pick me up. And he's in his mom's car. And I knew he drove a Jeep, but he picked me up in a BMW.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh, like, this is a nice car. He's like, yeah, my mom wanted to borrow my Jeep. He will disagree with me. He's saying she really did want to. I'm like, Zach, no way.
You're saying he was trying to impress you. He was
trying to impress. And he did. The date was so nice. And he picked me up, went to my door. My grandparents were at my house. My parents, like, everybody.
Oh my goodness.
So everyone's like crowding around the door, like
intimidating.
But he picked me up. We went on a date. We had a great time. He didn't kiss me.
Okay.
And we both were kind of like talked about it later. I was like, I don't know if you had fun. Like, I was so nervous. All day I told my mom, I was like, I'm so nervous to go out with Zach. And I feel like I knew it was because like this was going to be it for me.
Whoa.
Like, but I'm also not a date around. Like, I didn't ever date around.
If you're going to start dating someone, it's because you already have that interest.
Yeah.
And you're ready to go.
For sure. So we go, and after the movie, I tell him, I've never seen Captain America 1.
What did he say?
He's like, oh my gosh, you got to watch that. I'm going to have you over. So I had been to his house one time.
Smooth, Zach.
He's smooth. And he was so, like, such a gentleman. Either way, so we go the next week because he worked nights, like I said. So we didn't really see each other during the week. And on the weekend, it finally came. I go to his house. I met his mom. I still remember to this day, like, she was watching American Idol.
What?
And
what season?
I wish I could remember that.
Because no joke, when I was dating David, his mom was watching American Idol. Scotty McCreery.
I don't think it was that one. Well, it wouldn't have been because you've been together longer.
Well, I'm 4 years older than you. So when I was 19.
Oh, yeah. Different seasons.
You were 15.
But she was like, oh my gosh, it's so good to meet you. We hugged. It was like super sweet. His dad was like on a work trip, so I didn't meet him then. But so then things just took off from there. We started dating. He made me love sushi. Like, that was the first thing my parents were shocked.
Were they?
Everything that I like now, it's so funny because I used to be like, I don't like that.
I don't even want to try it.
And Zach's like, you don't know if you don't like it. You didn't taste it. And I'm not picky, but regardless, whatever, it doesn't matter. So we start dating. We've been dating for like maybe 2 years when we move out for the first time. And I'm in hygiene school.
Oh my goodness.
So maybe 2 or maybe 3. But
So he's been with you throughout your whole hygiene journey.
Yes. So yeah, he did the 6-hour appointments, 3-hour appointments as well, multiple times. Thank goodness, because it's hard to convince people to come in.
For sure.
And we did not have a log of people that were just dying to get in. I posted so many ads. Please come.
It was hard to fill your schedule in school. Yeah. Like strangers show up.
Literally.
That reminds me, David was also my, we were just engaged at this time. When I had to take my anesthesia board.
Okay.
He was my patient.
Dang. I didn't.
If that's not real love.
That is real love.
I mean, he has shown me over and over.
Yes.
He let me inject
I've never injected Zach.
Oh my goodness. Zach, step it up.
Step up. Come on.
Let her numb you.
But yeah, so he was with me through hygiene school, which was terrible. I cried, like I said before, I cried all the time. And
he was there.
At that time, he was finally working days, but he would go on like business trips to Miami. So he would be gone for like a week at a time. Mm-hmm. And that sucked. But that was the most long distance we ever were.
Okay.
So like we were, as soon as we got together, honestly, even my family says this, like we've been attached at the hip since. Like we never broke up. I think we had like a phase maybe where we would argue a bit about like stupid stuff.
Natural.
But I feel like that happens.
Yes.
And then before I knew it, 6 years flew by and I still was not engaged.
Oh my goodness.
And I bugged the crap out of him, I swear.
So you were together for 6 or 7 years?
Yeah.
Living together for 4 to 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe 3 to 4, 4 to 5. Yeah. Around that range. And yeah, I wanted to get engaged so bad. I was so obnoxious. Every time we went on a trip, I was like, I think it's this time. I think we're going to get engaged.
Was that disappointing when it didn't happen?
Yeah. It was annoying.
Did you eventually stop doing that?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then the day that I got engaged, I still remember I was kind of a brat.
What?
So the whole week, my sister, because now like I'm a hygienist, we're, I think, maybe 2 months away from buying our first house together.
Okay.
It's like we had just been in an apartment and it was during COVID.
Oh,
Zach had planned this no, Zach didn't plan it, but like his parents were going to Hawaii for a conference and they're like, you guys should come because it's for 5 days and we'll all go together. It'll be a great time. So we're like, yeah, let's do it. So we have this whole trip planned. It was going to be in May and all of a sudden COVID hits.
No.
And Hawaii like shut down.
Yes.
So we had it, luckily got like all of our money back for our flights and stuff, but he was planning to propose then. I didn't know that. I maybe had a guess, but I don't think I did. Like I feel like looking back now, it's obvious.
Okay.
But in the moment, I was just excited to go to Hawaii.
Right.
So that same week comes up that we were supposed to go, and he was telling me he really wanted to go to Devil's Bridge and do a hike in Sedona.
In Sedona. I love Sedona.
And we had done that hike before, but I was thinking, like it's a pretty hike. And he said, I think your sister wants to go. She's never been. And I was like, okay.
Is this Cam?
Yeah, this is Cam.
Okay.
So obviously Cam knew. And
she was in on it.
She was texting me, let's go get a manicure. And I had just...
She was helping you out.
Was. And there were so many signs. But again, like I had thought everything was a sign before.
Right. So now you're just like...
I'm like, whatever. Like, I know we're going to get married. It'll happen when it happens.
We're together. We're happy.
Yeah. And we had a lot of growing to do. We got together so young. Mm-hmm. And I joke about this now a lot, that if I would have gotten married when I really, really wanted to, when I was probably like 21, mm-hmm. I look at my Pinterest board from back then, my wedding would have been absolutely atrocious. Like,
if anyone, I feel like everyone can relate with the Pinterest boards.
My sister will like bully me over this. She goes back and she will screenshot and I'm like, girl, don't. Like, don't go there.
Don't judge me. I was 21.
Exactly. But
so you got married at what age?
26.
26.
No, 27, I think.
27. Okay. And in reality, from the Pinterest board to then, what did it look like?
Oh my God. It was just, well, one, we ended up eloping. So obviously I'd never had that on my Pinterest board. But right. I had like these big ball gown dresses with pink tulle under them, like hot pink tulle, and like people wearing Vans.
I did wear Vans.
Did you?
Yeah.
I had a pair of tennies that I wore, but
nice. I wore yellow Vans and David wore green. Our colors, it was sunflowers.
Okay, that's cute.
So red, green, and like brown, but green, yellow Vans. It was actually very cute.
I think it's cute. But also
she's dissing the Vans.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not.
What?
But no, so the day we got engaged, yeah, I declined the manicure. I told my sister, I was like, I just got a gel kit. Like, can't we just do our own?
Okay. Did you?
Yeah. She painted them for me. And I picked out this teal color. To this day, I'm like, you couldn't have pushed a little harder. She's like, girl, you were set on this color. I was like, whatever. So we get to Sedona and we're walking up, and it's during COVID, of course. There's a huge line to take photos. Someone, maybe 4 or 5 couples in front of us, gets engaged.
No.
And I was like, oh, to my sister, I don't think Zach heard this. If he did, he might have. I said, like, when's it going to be my turn?
Oh my gosh.
And my sister was like, Alex, knock it off.
Oh, wow.
Like, be done. And I was fine. Okay, whatever. And I'm like, we don't really have to wait to take a photo. Like, we have a photo here. And he goes, Cam doesn't. And I go, okay. And he's not a photo person. So I was like, honestly, he had a crazy mullet, cut it off the week of us getting engaged. I should have known. Like, there were signs. So many signs. But anyways, we get up there and he gets down on one knee and people start thinking it's a joke, like all the people in line, because someone already got engaged. And I think I blacked that whole moment out. My sister recorded it, but you can't really hear what he was saying. And he was like, you know, I really wanted to do this in Hawaii, but like, I love you. And he had this whole speech, and then people realized it was real and they start cheering like crazy.
Oh my gosh. You had an audience.
Yeah. And some people
they didn't know how to feel.
They didn't, but then they were excited. And so yeah, we get engaged. I'm super excited to plan a wedding. And then we buy our house, and kind of both of us are, do we really want to spend all this money on a wedding? Right. One day. And Zach's not very center of attention. So I think it would have been a little awkward for him. So then we start tossing around the idea of eloping, which is what we ended up doing.
Yes.
We love Colorado. We've always loved it. We've been there a few times as like a couple that dated. It spoke to us. So I found a photographer. He gave us a list of places that he would go to. And he was like, just look through these and see what you like. And he sent the sand dunes. And I remember we're at Pita Jungle. And we're looking through the places.
Love Pita Jungle.
Me too. It's like one of the things I miss.
The triple hummus?
It's so good.
Oh,
the best.
So good.
But we're looking through, and Zach's like, oh my God, this is perfect. And I didn't think he would have that reaction.
Right.
And we felt like it was the perfect match because desert, sand dunes, and then in all my photos, you can see snow-capped mountains in the back.
Yes.
They're beautiful. So initially, it was just going to be the two of us, but I think our families might have been a little bit bummed that they weren't going to be invited.
Okay.
And also, the
touché.
sand dunes are near Alamosa, which is like the closest city, and it has nothing. I didn't know where I would get my hair done.
Right.
When my mother-in-law got invited, or like finally was invited, she was calling around to restaurants and breweries to see if they took reservations. And one of the ladies, she calls a brewery. She's like, yeah, my son and daughter-in-law, they're getting married here, and we want to have dinner. Do you guys take reservations? And she's like, no, but I do know a place in town that does. It's called Chili's Bar and Grill.
Chili's?
My mother-in-law was like, mm-mm.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so the day we got married, Zach and I got a beer and wings right before we had to go get ready. Just the two of us. I have like a little selfie of us there.
Fun.
And I just remember feeling like so at peace, like this was perfect. And after we invited my sister, she made my bouquet in the car on the way. It's beautiful. Like we'll have to show some of our photos. And then she did my hair, my makeup. I changed at the national park because I didn't want him to see my dress. And we exchanged our own vows because in Colorado, you don't need an officiant.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So we did that. And then we took our photos. We went to a brewery with our families and had dinner. And then the younger kids and my sister-in-law had her babies at the time. They were super young. So they went back to the hotel, and our parents, so like just the 6 of us, my mom and Steph and Tim and Tran, who are my in-laws, we all went to this dive bar. It was decorated for St. Patty's Day still, even though it was April. I have disposable camera photos of these, and they're hilarious. And we played pool in our wedding clothes. And
how fun.
It was so us. Like, everybody thinks that was like us.
Yeah.
And then we had a big party when we came home about a month later. And
there you go.
It was perfect. We loved everything about it.
Oh,
it was
my
the
goodness.
best. I loved it. Still do.
As you should.
Yeah. I mean, I hope everybody loves their wedding day.
It's your story, and I don't know if everyone does. To be honest, I have an aunt who, to this day, will tell you her wedding day was a nightmare.
Yeah. That's why I'm so pro elopement, because I feel like these days there's such a production. People are so nervous that day because they don't want anything to go wrong. Like,
I think with elopement, you just have more control.
Yeah.
My best friend, she says when she gets married, she's eloping.
Yeah. For it.
She better not take this away, but I have been promised that I will be one of the very few people who know
that she's going.
Yes.
Okay.
And I may or may not have enough time to get to wherever she's getting married.
You're like hopping on a last minute red eye.
Oh, I will be. I told her, I said, you better, I will get there. So
that's friendship
out.
Right there.
Right? Oh, I love her. I love your story. It just reminds me again, listening to it all over again, how really different.
I mean, especially your wedding.
Yes, I forgot to even talk about it.
I know.
As soon as you were talking about yours, I was like, oh no, that's huge.
Yeah,
huge
it's
difference.
So huge. Like the biggest one of all.
I know.
Because we both love our husbands.
Yes, absolutely. But yes. Oh my goodness. So at the time, we were both Mormon.
Yeah.
My husband left the church about 8-9 years ago. So, but at the time we're Mormon, we both were, and so it was expected of us to get married at the temple.
Of course.
We did. We got married in the Mesa Temple, which was beautiful.
Yeah, of course. It's a beautiful place.
Yes. But poor David, to get me there was a bit, we were engaged for 3 months.
That's so short.
It's so short. But remember, we knew each other for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
We've been together and not together 4 times.
Yeah.
7 months of, and so by that time we just knew. Yeah. And it was July. We needed to get married. We're long distance.
Oh, that's right. Because you were up in Flag.
I was in Flagstaff. So he had to leave. He went to Flagstaff for my senior year of dental hygiene school.
Okay.
It was so cool to have
someone. Like big support.
Yes. It was so cool to have someone my last year that I just came home to that wasn't just a roommate, but my partner and somebody who also had an investment in our future.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I wouldn't change it for the world, but we had to get married that summer.
Yeah.
Or we could have been engaged for another year, but that's just not how it works, especially in the Mormon community.
You can't just move in together. Like, you guys needed this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got married in July in Phoenix. So stupid.
Couldn't pay me to do that.
It was so hot. It was so hot. We got out of the temple. We got everyone who was out there and who was at the temple with us together for one picture. Then we said, get out of here. It's so hot. We'll meet you at the luncheon.
That's literally miserable.
It was bad. We're all sweating. Oh my goodness.
And you're in your heavy wedding clothes.
Yes.
Like, dresses are so hot.
So hot. I mean, a suit.
Oh, and a suit. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got married. But the problem is to get me there, I have commitment issues. I had commitment issues.
Yeah.
I think I still kind of do, but luckily I'm already committed to David. So
you don't have to worry about it anymore.
All the other commitment issues, David helps me work through them. But I doubted us over and over and over again in 3 months.
This poor man.
He really,
David. Ugh.
He is seriously amazing.
Yeah.
To put up with me. And now I put up with him. So touche.
We all be putting up with each other.
Yes. He talked me off the ledge. He knew I was crazy. I tell him, you knew I was crazy before we got married. In that engagement, if I didn't show it to you, like you knew.
Yeah.
So no excuses now.
Mm-mm.
The day of my marriage, my best friend is at my house with me. I woke up at 5:30 in the morning, showered, and I was crying in the shower. Is this right? I don't know. This is huge.
Elise.
I don't like changes. Did I not tell you this?
No.
I was crying in the shower. Then my friend, she does my hair. She does my makeup. She drives separately to the temple later because I need to get there beforehand because David and I are taking photos.
Yeah.
I'm driving in the car with my parents. They're in the front seat. I'm in the back. I don't even know if they know this to this day. I am like secretly wiping tears.
Oh my God. If Elise is anything, she's dramatic. She's like, my life is over.
It's just a bit, I didn't know. What if I was making a mistake?
I know, but we're a little past that on the way to the wedding.
I have heard of people they go to the temple and they say, I can't marry you.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so scary.
I was scared. Is that what I'm doing? Is that what I need to do?
Yeah.
I'm so worried.
But I guess that like makes sense because really quick, I was so pissed that it took so long for us to get engaged. But Zach comes from like 2 very loving parents who stayed married, and he wants that. So he's like, I just wanted us to be like there and be sure.
Yeah.
And you, to this day, no, I'm just joking.
I still am not sure.
Elise cries on the way home.
Is this right?
Am I right to go home?
13 years later? No, it's right.
It's right, obviously.
Right. It's so right. I can't even tell you. It's the best decision I've ever made. But again, David stepped up, okay? I get out of the car. We happen to park by each other. I get out of the car. He sees my face.
Oh my God. I would be so scared if I was him.
Poor guy. I put him through the
When I say poor David, I really mean it.
Poor guy. He sees my face and he's just comes over and he's like, we're doing this.
Good.
He said, this is happening.
Someone had to put their foot down with you.
This. I know. And it was David twice. Like every single time if that's not the sign that he is for me, that he is mine, I don't know what is. No one else I dated, I think everyone was just, this is going to sound bad, but too nice.
Yeah.
I think they would have let me walk over them, which is not what I needed. I needed someone to
sometimes you need a little bit of firmness to know that like someone's got you a little bit. Like you don't have to do it on your own.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's important.
He said, we're doing this. It's happening.
And she marched her butt into that temple.
I did. I walked into the temple. I got in my dress and not again did I doubt a thing.
And you should never doubt it ever again.
I don't.
Which I don't think she does.
I don't.
But I'm just kidding with her. But
we took pictures. We got married in the temple. We came out. We did the one picture for eternity. And then we did the luncheon. We had a luncheon. Mm-hmm. The food was so good. And I'm so grateful because at the reception, I wasn't a bridezilla. I didn't have a lot of opinions. I just wanted this to happen. I'm pretty go with the flow.
Yeah.
But I wanted food because I don't like desserts. And neither does David. We didn't even have a wedding cake.
That's crazy. Did you have a replacement?
Yes.
Okay.
So my dad built this beautiful stand. It's tiered and he carved it out of wood. It's really beautiful. And we filled it up with cream puffs.
Oh.
Because they're small and they're sweet,
like the perfect dessert.
Yes. So we had cream puffs and there was a bigger one on the top and that's the one David and I shared.
That's so cute.
It was so cute. And there's a chocolate fountain for people to dip their cream puffs. And I think we had fruit. But the one thing is I said I wanted food at the reception. And because I'm not a sweets person, neither's David. But at the last minute, my mom said, we're not doing food. That's too much work. And we just had desserts.
Oh, so you didn't have food?
No, just desserts. And I don't eat them. And neither does David. So we didn't eat anything at a reception, which I hear is kind of common because all this happened in one day. Wedding, luncheon, reception.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It was a big day. And so we didn't eat, but the luncheon food was so good. And David's mom is always so prepared. And I told you, David is overly loved. So she thinks about him all the time. And now she thinks about me. I am seriously the luckiest girl, but she packed us leftovers.
We both love our in-laws.
We do, which is
not that common.
Not common.
Like we both kind of lucked out.
We really did.
Because I always think about how much I love Zach's parents.
Oh my goodness.
And I hear it from you all the time.
Yeah. I love my in-laws. I am very lucky.
Did she save you a little plate?
Oh, she packed us leftovers. No, she gave us a cooler.
That's so nice.
Full of leftovers of the luncheon food, which I loved. She let me help pick out everything. And it was so good. And that was the first thing. We went to our hotel in our wedding clothes.
Scarfing down.
We did. We went to our hotel in Scottsdale and we were still in our wedding clothes, which is such a hack, by the way. Everyone should do this.
Oh, yeah. People love it.
Well, they upgraded us.
Oh, genius.
Every hotel on our honeymoon, we got upgraded.
That's so cool.
It was our honeymoon.
Yeah.
They upgraded us. We had some great rooms, but in Scottsdale, they upgraded us. We were so exhausted. We were so hungry. We got to the room and we just ripped off our clothes and ate.
That's the best.
It
Something about eating in a hotel.
Something.
Love it.
Seriously.
Especially when you're starving.
Your own food. You know it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
That's awesome.
Very different. Our relationships, our marriages, they're so different. But as we were talking, there were some similarities.
There for sure is. Yeah.
We both love our in-laws.
Yes. Yes.
But our spouses also, which I think is super important in a marriage, our spouses helped us change for the good.
For sure. Yes, that's true.
You've tried things and now like things you never thought you would.
And I'm more patient, I think. Zach is so like level all the time.
So is David.
And I always joke like, because my dog has such bad anxiety. I'm like, he gets his anxiety from me. Like I'm anxious about, I'm like constantly like anxious. And Zach's like, why are we like, let's cut it off
Bring
for
it
a
down.
moment. Let's chill.
That's so funny because I have really dramatic kids.
Yeah.
And it's all me. I say that too. I'm like, oh, this is
runs
me.
in the family.
It does. But David is also very mellow.
Yes.
Very.
And I think that's good because he levels you out like Zach levels me out.
100%. We are such a good team. But they help us become better versions of ourselves.
For sure.
I mean, look at me before crying on the day of my wedding. And now I'm like, I just have a better way of communicating, better with relationships. And it all stems with David.
That's the best.
So that's how we're similar. There was another one when we were talking and I forgot it. But even though we're different, I think that's another reason what brings us together is I feel like our mindsets are very similar.
They are.
We approach problems in similar ways, but we execute in different ways.
That's true.
So
very true.
But I loved hearing your story.
And now look at our marriages led us to just live here. We live in the same place. We love it.
That's true.
We took big leaps to leave where we're from.
Yes. Lots of leaps of faith.
Yeah.
We're just leaps in general. Lots of leaps to leave. And we ended up here.
I wouldn't change it for anything.
And our spouses, they love it too. They support us.
Zach told Elise yesterday, I think I like Payson a lot more than Alix does. And I'm like, hey,
oh yeah,
careful.
What are you talking about? No. Lots of differences, but lots of similarities is what I'm getting from this. And another reason why we are together, why we are doing this, why we're together, why we just live here.
Exactly.
Which wraps it up.
I agree. And I think we'll see you guys next week for another fun episode of Why We Just Live Here.
Yep. We'll see you next time.
Bye.